Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel for another match day review and player ratings. The day after every game we do a match day review and player ratings. We have actually done one for every single game so far this season. I did miss 2 games at one point, but I did do a review and a match day rating afterwards anyway. And that is the idea, to keep doing these after every game. I know you guys enjoy. Now usually I do have a webcam on here and I do show you my reaction face to face, but the idea today was actually to show you something better if you haven't seen it. It is Pep Guardiola's reaction to Erling Haaland's second goal for Manchester City. That is exactly what Pep Guardiola did as he looked behind him towards the fans and towards the Manchester City board, sat up in the executive area. That is how he felt about Haaland scoring another double. He probably got a hat-trick, Haaland, but he did come off at half-time. And we'll go through the player ratings today and how things went. So a 5-0 win for Manchester City. A big win. City performed fantastically. They really did. I thought we were in control pretty much all the game. I have to say, though, Copenhagen were pretty poor, to be honest with you. They had maybe 2 lively or 3 lively moments throughout the 90 minutes that were cut out pretty easily by City in the end. One was in the second half where Edison managed to catch it as it came across the box. I think it came off Joao Cancelo, nearly an own goal. One was in the first half, I think it's Mohamed Zarami, but in the end he tripped over his own feet and that ruined Copenhagen's attack. And the third one would be probably another point where the ball just didn't reach one of their players, and that was a nice move actually, that one I'm thinking of, in the first half, around the 36th minute I believe. So City 5, Copenhagen 0, and like I said, City were in full control. The game kicked off, and an early goal for Manchester City came from who else but Erling Haaland. I've given him a 9 rating today, Erling Haaland. Again, for just the fact that he just does his job, doesn't he? He's in there and he scores goals. He probably could have had a hat-trick in the first half. He had a header that the keeper saved. But other than that, he was wonderful. He pressed today, a lot of pressing, so a lot of running from Erling Haaland today and trying to close the keeper down. Julian Alvarez, who is a master of that as well, he did fantastic at closing the keeper down, by the way. He was on the keeper at every opportunity. And speaking of keepers, Copenhagen's keeper actually had a very good game. I believe he made about 16 saves or something ridiculous. I thought he was brilliant for them. So yeah, Haaland 9, off at half-time. The right decision by Pep Guardiola. I think Haaland could have got 5 or 6 if he'd played the second half as well, because City created some unbelievable chances in the second half, which we'll go into. And Haaland, just words cannot describe how good he is. And like I said, Pep Guardiola's reaction there, you just can't believe it. And in the second goal, he was just in the right place at the right time, wasn't he? And he managed to smash that one in. As for the back line for City, defensively City marshalled Copenhagen pretty well. Edison I give a 7. He made a pretty good save in the second half, which could have been an own goal for Joao Cancelo. And he was good in possession as well. I don't think he made any passes that went astray or anything. And, you know, it's hard to give a goalkeeper a high rating, really, when they haven't done anything. And Edison was pretty much a passenger throughout the game. And that's why he usually gets 6s and 7s. I mean, he gets 6s from me because they have 2 shots and scored 2 goals. I can't really rate him on his saving ability because he hasn't saved anything. Cancelo gets a 7, just an average game for Cancelo. I think for Cancelo, maybe we were a little harsh on his rating. Maybe the 7's a little bit harsh because he was good. And he sets a very high standard for himself. Ruben Diaz gets a 6. I'll tell you why I get a 6 for Diaz. Defensively, very good, but he showed his real lack in progressive passing, Ruben Diaz, and perhaps that's why he didn't start the Manchester derby. He just, plenty of times the forward players are really frustrated with him not putting the ball into them, and when he tried to put the ball into them, his pass wasn't there. He's obviously not the best on the ball, Diaz. I think that is being shown more and more. When he first came into Manchester City, it was about shoring up a very, very leaky defence, and he did that with his defensive ability. But now I think Pep Guardiola, City fans, and City as a club and as a team, we want a little bit more from him now. We want that sort of Aymeric Laporte, Manuel Akanji, even Nathan Ake to an extent, and John Stones' ability on the ball to pass the ball, and Diaz hasn't got that, and I think he showed the lack of that today. But of course, in those games where we need an out-and-out defender, there's no one better in the team than Ruben Diaz. He's by far the best defender in this Manchester City side. Then we go on to Aymeric Laporte. I've given him an 8 rating, straight back into the starting 11 after coming back from injury. Played a few minutes against Manchester United, and City conceded a few goals, and he thought, ooh, a bit shaky from Laporte, but I thought he was good today, and his passing makes a big difference in this Manchester City side. I think him and Akanji could form an absolutely incredible partnership of, I mean, Akanji being an out-and-out defender like Diaz, I suppose, not to quite the same extent, but his passing ability along the floor and then Laporte's passing ability in the air, picking a pass off the ground. I don't think there's anyone better in this Manchester City side. I don't think there's many better in Europe at that. On to the left back, and I'll give Sergio Gomez a 8 rating. I feel like Gomez was perhaps involved in nearly every goal. He put a cross in for Haaland. I think he curated the own goal in a way. It came off Jack Grealish and then came as an own goal. But Sergio Gomez was absolutely brilliant at left back. Yes, he's got a lot to work on defensively, but that will come with time and come with age. But on the ball, I mean, that shot at the end, if anyone saw that volley at the end, it was fantastic. And the volley that fell off, that was saved by the goalkeeper that came back to Haaland for his second, that just shows how good he was. He seemed involved in absolutely everything, Sergio Gomez, from great touches. And I can't believe how good of a crosser of the ball he is. I think that is going to be a massive asset for us. Kyle Walker, Pep Guardiola has confirmed, is going to be out for quite a while. He's going to be out for weeks, perhaps months. So Sergio Gomez is going to play a lot against Manchester City, and he's shown that he's got the quality to do that. Into the midfield, Ilkay Gundogan was utterly unreal, I believe, in that midfield this game. Defensively, the amount of times he was pressing high, winning the ball back, taking the ball, shimmying around players, playing out little tight spaces, absolutely brilliant. The same goes for Bernardo Silva as well. Not quite Gundogan level, but he worked his socks off, as he always does, Bernardo Silva, and he was everywhere in this game. Julian Alvarez had a more quieter game in front of them. He sort of played in the pockets alongside Haaland with Bernardo Silva on the left and right of him, Grealish on the far left and Mahrez on the far right. But Alvarez was fantastic as well. Got a goal for himself, and he was pressing all game. He worked so hard. He deserved a goal, I believe, in the end. Wasn't as involved in the play as I expected him to be, and him and Haaland seem to have a really good partnership, by the way. I really like the look of that thing. But when Haaland came off, Alvarez was a bit alone up top, but Cole Palmer came on to help that out. We'll go into the bench very shortly. 3 young Man City players coming off the bench. Onto the right-hand side, Riyad Mahrez. I thought he was pretty poor. He set up a goal in the second half, but I mean, he's so predictable, Mahrez, at the moment. Just cuts inside with his left foot. They know exactly what he wants to do. He runs and he runs and he runs, ends up just passing it to a wide area. I think Mahrez, obviously not, his match sharpness isn't there. He's not played a lot of games. Maybe Pep Guardiola needs to give Mahrez a run of games. I'm not quite sure what will get Mahrez back to his level. And then on the left-hand side, a 9 rating for the man of the match. Have got to be man of the match, Jack Grealish. This is the Grealish Manchester City bought in the last few games. Picks up the ball and he runs and he runs and he runs at the opposition and he creates a chance for himself sometimes with a 1-2. He deserved a goal. 1 or 2, 3 chances he had. Couldn't put it in the back of the net. He was so frustrated with himself, but he just, every time he picked up the ball, you were worried of what he was going to do. And he just ran at the opposition and ran at Copenhagen and was absolutely fantastic. And that also goes for another player, Cole Palmer. He came off the bench. Now, I've given Cole Palmer harsh ratings in recent weeks when he's played for Manchester City. Today, it was a completely different story. Picked up the ball, shimmied left, shimmied right, cut inside, cut outside. Just give the fullback nightmares, Cole Palmer. What a player he could be if we see more of that. Had a shot that was saved simply by the goalkeeper, just couldn't get the power in it. But he's an absolutely brilliant player on his day, Cole Palmer. And like Jack Grealish, just ran at the opposition all game. And then the other 2 young players who came on were the fullbacks and might be used quite a lot this season with the injury to Kyle Walker at the moment. Pep Guardiola said Rico Lewis has proven that he can play first-team football for Manchester City. I give Rico Lewis a 7 rating. He was very solid when he came on. Esbran not as good. A few poor touches, a few, mistakes. But he is, of course, 20 years of age. Lots of time for him to develop as a left-back at Manchester City. So I give him a 6. And I'll give Pep Guardiola a 9 overall for game management. Bringing on the younger players and giving them a chance. Taking Haaland off and resting him for the weekend against Southampton, where City will go again. Perhaps we see another hat-trick for Erling Haaland. It would not surprise me. The man is absolutely unbelievable. So that is the player rating for today's game. Let us know in the comments down below how you thought City played. The goals were brilliant. I think we could have had more goals. We should have had 7 or 8 goals. Jack Grealish missed so many chances where he'd already, driven the side forward, laid it off to Gundogan or Mahrez or Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, and got it back. And then he gets that shot off that's just wide the post twice. And funnily enough, Jack Grealish, he said after Haaland's second goal, he just laughed. He laughed, and it's on camera, Jack Grealish just laughing at that. And he said to BT Sport at the end of the game, he said he spoke to the Copenhagen goalkeeper who said to Grealish, "This man he's not human. Erling Haaland is not human. And Jack Grealish said, you're telling me. He said, he just can't believe how good Haaland is. And I think City can't believe themselves how good Haaland is. And that image on your screen, leave it with you. Pep Guardiola's reaction to Haaland. I mean, how many more goals is he going to score? We're only in October and the guy cannot stop scoring. Thank you much for watching. Please do like the video if you haven't already. Our gaming series of FIFA 23 starts tomorrow on the We Are City channel. Going to be an exciting series. We'll see you guys next time.